Welcome to Tech Bytes and News, your daily roundup of articles featured in Hacker News. Today we're diving deep into a fascinating piece, exploring the illusion of intelligence in large language models, or LLMs. It's a really insightful analysis, drawing parallels between the perceived intelligence of LLMs and the techniques used by psychics. Intriguing, right?
Absolutely. I've been following the LLM hype closely, and this article really challenges some of the assumptions. So the core argument is that the perceived intelligence isn't inherent in the LLMs themselves, but rather a result of user bias and the way these models are designed, right?
Precisely. The author argues that the LLmentalist effect, as they call it, is essentially a sophisticated form of cold reading, a technique used by psychics to create the illusion of mind reading. Clever, huh?
I see. So it's not about actual intelligence, but about statistically probable responses that users interpret as insightful and specific to them?
Exactly. The LLMs generate mathematically plausible responses based on their vast training data. These responses often hit on common human experiences, creating a sense of personal connection and validation, even if they're statistically generic. It's the four-tier effect in action, amplified by the sheer scale of the data.
The four-tier effect. That's where generic statements are perceived as highly personal and accurate, right? That's a powerful cognitive bias. So the article suggests that the design of LLMs, particularly the use of reinforcement learning through human feedback, RLHF, inadvertently reinforces this effect?
Yes, the author suggests RLHF, while aiming to make LLMs more human-like, might actually be optimizing them to produce these validation statements. Because the feedback is based on rankings rather than specific corrections, the models are rewarded for sounding accurate, not for being factually correct. It's a subtle but crucial point.
That's a really insightful critique of RLHF. I hadn't considered that angle before. So the article essentially argues that we're not witnessing the dawn of AGI, but rather a highly sophisticated illusion?
Essentially, yes. The author even draws a parallel between the current hype around LLMs and the long history of belief in psychic phenomena. The self-selection of the audience, the setting of the stage through hype, and the subjective validation loop all mirror the psychic's con. It's a compelling analogy. It's a bit unsettling, you know?
It is. It makes you question the claims being made about the capabilities of these models. The article also highlights the dangers of relying on LLMs for critical tasks, like decision-making or analysis, right? It's essentially like relying on a psychic for financial advice.
Exactly. The author strongly cautions against integrating LLMs into critical organizational processes. They highlight several inherent flaws in LLMs, including hallucinations, unreliable summarization, and a tendency to memorize and copy text without attribution. These flaws, combined with the LLmentalist effect, paint a concerning picture. It's a wake-up call, really.
A much-needed one, I think. This article provides a valuable framework for critically evaluating the claims surrounding LLMs and for understanding the psychological factors that contribute to the hype. It's a reminder to approach these technologies with healthy skepticism and to be aware of our own cognitive biases.
Absolutely. And that's a great point to end on. Thanks for joining us on Tech Bytes and News. We hope you found this discussion as insightful as we did. Until next time, goodbye.
Bye-bye.